Hello everyone, welcome to Kirti Tutorials. Today we are back again with Sinking Fun and the remaining R.D Sharma Exercise solutions. Right, so we will be taking the rest of the solutions today. Right, and as I was discussing before also, we are going to take step by step marking scheme. Right, so that you will not lose the marks in exam because definitely the topic that is Sinking Fun, it will definitely be coming in the exam and you will be getting the question. Right, so let's move ahead. Start with the first question today. A firm anticipates a capital expenditure of rupees 10,000 for a new equipment in 5 years. How much should be deposited quarterly in a sinking fund, earning 10% per year compounded quarterly to provide for the purchase? And this value is given to you. Now, first thing is a firm anticipates a expenditure of rupees 10,000 for a new equipment in 5 years. कितना expenditure हो सकता है कंपनी का 10,000? That will be your S. For the new equipment in how many years? 5 years. So that will be pointing to N. But we are going to deposit quarterly. So what will be your N? Your N will be 5 into 4 because we are going to pay 20 installments in 5 years because we are depositing it quarterly. So that is 20 rupee, 20 payments. Now, what is your R? Your R is 10%. So what will be your I? Your I will be 10 upon 400. So that is important for you, right? So here S is given to you, R is given to you, N is given to you. Correct? What is to be found? You have to find R, capital R. That is how much you should deposit quarterly in the sinking fund, right? So that you can earn 10% per year and you can deposit the amount for 10,000. Correct? Now let's move on with that. So S is 10,000, right? Now let's move on to find R. So we have the same formula. So this will be as which we were doing in the previous lecture. So 1 plus I raised to n minus 1 upon I. Now S is what? 10,000. R we have to find. Now 1 plus I raised to n. That will be 1. If you cut it 1 by 40, 1 by 40 will be what? 0.025, right? So 1 plus 0.025 raised to 20. So which is 1.025 raised to 20. And its value is given to you as 1.6836. Right? So value is already given to you. So this is very easy question. No, so now what we have 1.6836 minus 1 and I is 1 upon 40 or 10 upon 400. Now let's do it. So 10,000 upon 40 into 0.6836. Right? Let's cut this. Let's put 4 zeros for this. Correct? Now, if you want to divide, we can divide it and reduce it. Okay. So now if I do it, we get 25,0. Correct? So what will you get? This is the value of R. So for R, what do we have? 1, 2, 5, 0 and 4 zeros more upon 6836. Now, as we discussed yesterday also, that is in the previous lecture, that now we have to do the long division. And as I told you, long division can be done in fair work also. No worries to do it in rough work so that it is going to harm you students. You won't be able to check your answer. And definitely step marking will be given by the evaluator also to you. So it is always beneficial to do the long division. So let's do it. Right? So 6836. Now let's do it. So 3 6 are 18, 1, 1 and 2. Right? So 2954. So now what is again 10 will come down. So let's make it 2 6. So 6 3 2 5. Right? So now 4094. Now again one more 0 we have. So 49046 0. So now what will it be? So 25 this, we get this, then we get this. So 4904. Now that will come out to be what? Not with 8, neither with this. What we will get? 7 se jayega. Let's check it for 7. Okay, now let's see. 7 6 2 4. That is 2 again, and that is 5 again. Right? So what will you get? 13 8. Here 1. Here 1. Right? So that's come to decimal now. Now we can do it again with 1. So this is how it goes on. Correct? 6836. Right? So as I told you, one place decimal is enough. So you can go with it. Correct? Now let's do it once and check our answer. Okay. Now for this we get the answer 3 rupee. So this much amount has to be deposited quarterly to make your calculations possible. Right? Clear to all? Now let's move on to the next. Now, suppose a machine costing rupees 50,000 is to be replaced at the end of 10 years. At that time, it will have a salvage value of rupees 5,000. In order to provide money at that time for a new machine costing the same amount, a sinking fund is set up. The amount in the fund at that time is to be the difference between the replacement cost and salvage value. If equal payments are done at the payment or at the end of each quarter, the fund earns 8% compounded quarterly. What should each payment be? Now again, almost the same question we have done. Now for finding S, we have to do 50,000, the price of the machine minus the salvage value. So you need 45,000. You don't need 50,000. You need 45,000 rupees. Now what will be I? I will be 8% compounded quarterly. So it will be 2 by 100. That is 0.02. What will be 1 plus I raised to n? That will be 1.02 raised to. Now you are going to make the payment for how many years we have here? What is it? Yeah. So you have to find for 10 years. But how many payments you are going to make it? So 10 years is there. And for 10 years, how much payments will be there? Quarterly you are doing. So there will be 40 payments. Right? So these values are given to you. Now let's make up. S is 45,000. Right? R 1 plus I raised to n minus 1. Let's say the formula because always the formula carry a mark, students. Do not forget to write the formula. Okay, that's very important in exam. Whether it's 2 mark, 3 mark or 4 mark. If it is 4 mark, definitely formula will carry 1 mark. If it is for 3 mark, then also 1 mark. But in 2 mark, might carry half mark only. But always it carries a mark. Sometimes so it is for 1.5 mark, 2 mark tak bhi hota hai. Initials also carry a mark. So you make the outline of the question correct and definitely you will get the mark. Right? So now what we get? 1.02 raised to 40 minus 1 upon 2 by 100. Now let's make the calculations. 45,000 into 2 by 100. And if I will substitute this value 2.2080, right? So what will you get? Minus 1. So 1.2080. Correct? And this will be equal to R. Let's make the calculations. Now if I remove, I will have to put 10,000 here. Now one more zero cut out. So what will you get now? 45 to the 90, 0, 0, 0, 0. Right? 4 zeros will come upon 1208. Now we have to divide this for making R. Correct? Now let's do the division here. 9040 and 1208. Let's do it by 7 first. So 7 8 we have 56, 4 and 1, 44, and here we get 95. Now we get here 5440. So let's do it with the 7 ones are 5 ones are, but 5 many I got to carry forward. 42, 4 2s are 8, 4. Now again one more 0 we can make it down. So 8 0 6 0. Right? So what will you get now? 5 ke saath, that will go 40. 0 6. So it will go 40. So point. One more 0 because 40 is not divisible. So we will make it to 4,000. So now how much will you get? With 3? Yeah. Or with 4 it will come. Or with 3 it will come. Okay. So it will go on. So this will give you RS 745.03. So in front of you, I'm doing all this. So it doesn't take much time also, students. It's not like that we have done it before or something. So I'm trying to do most of the questions in front of you so that you can just check. It doesn't take much time, right? Always advisable to attempt these questions in exam. And remember, formula is compulsory, initials are compulsory, and it's always one step last division, right? Otherwise, rest of the calculations are very, very easy. Okay, now let's make it to the next question. Now, Mr. X plans to send his son for higher studies abroad for 10 years. He expects the cost of the studies to be 2 lakh rupees. How much he should set aside at the end of each quarter for 10 years to accumulate this amount if money is worth 6% compounded quarterly? So now here in this, S is given to you as 2 lakh rupees. R we have to find, correct? Now I is given to you as 6 upon 400, which will be 3 by 200, and which will be 1.5 divided by 100, that is 0.015. Okay, now 1 plus I raised to n calculate करने के लिए we need n first. So n will be what? 10 into 4, because 10 years के लिए he is going to make the payments quarterly, right? So that's important, quarterly. So now 40, clear? Now we are going to make it 1.015 raised to 40, and the value is given to you as 1.8140. So these are the initials that we are going to use. Now let's use the formula for S, that is the total amount. So R 1 plus I raised to n minus 1 upon I. So 2 lakh R 1.015 raised to 40 minus 1 upon 3 by 200. Now 2 lakh into 3 by 200, and if we subtract the given value with 1, we get 0.8140. So we get 1000 here. If I remove 4 zeros, I'll have to add 4 zeros here, right? Decimals. So we get here 1 zero cut, 3000 and 3 more zeros. So we have to divide basically 30 lakh with 814, right? So that is the important point here. Clear? So now let's move on with that. So we have here 3 lakh divided by 814 to get the value of R. Now what is 30 lakh 814? That's a simple calculation that we are supposed to do. So now let's make it. Let's do it with 3 first. 3 fours are 12, 1s are 3, and then we get 4, and then here we get 24. Right? So now 8, 5, here we get 5. Okay, so now we put 1 0 down. So now we can try 4, 3, 6, 7, 6. Okay, now let's make it, because 7 8s are 56, so we need a number less than that. So 6 4, then we get 2 forward, and then we get 48, right? So now minus, so we get 6, we get 9, we get 6. That's it. 1 0 down. So 6 9 6, we get over 8. So 8 4 3, 1 forward. One more 0 down we can do. 8 514 4, right? Now 368, so let's go for 5 now, because 6 was greater. So let's go for this 2 7, and we go for 4, correct? So 410, and again one more decimal now will go, because there is no 0 now. So 4100, so which makes it again with 5, and this is how it goes on, right? Correct? So we get 3685.5 rupees he has to set aside every quarter for 10 years to make a sum of rupees 2 lakh. Right? So students, just make a note, sinking fund questions are very easy to do. There is nothing like that you say if we skip this, it has lot of calculations. No, it has one long division, that's it. Right? Nothing else. Now let's move on to the next. Now, a machine bought for rupees 50,000 is depreciated at 10% for 8 years. To make up the loss due to a depreciation, a sinking fund is created by setting aside a sum of money every year. What is the value of each payment if the accumulated amount in the fund is equal to the total depreciation and if the interest is 5% compounded annually. Now, this is a bit different question. It's not tough, but it has the concept of depreciation also. So, what is the language is a machine was bought for rupees 50,000 and it is depreciated at 10% for 8 years. To make up the loss due to depreciation, a sunken fund is created by setting aside a sum of money every year. What is the value of each payment if the accumulated amount, now this is important, accumulated amount in the fund is equal to total depreciation. Now I give you a simple example. Suppose the machine is for 50,000 as they've written. Suppose अभी उसका value depreciate होके 10,000 हो गया, राइट? डेप्रिशिएट होने के बाद आफ्टर 8 years, राइट? तो डेप्रिशिएट कितने रुपीज हुआ? 40,000 रुपीज हुआ. सो दैट इज व्हाट दे आर सेइंग दैट द एक्यूमुलेटेड अमाउंट इन द फंड इज इक्वल टू टोटल डेप्रिसिएशन. उसका जो प्रेजेंट वैल्यू है वो नहीं उस टाइम पे, आफ्टर डेप्रिसिएशन कितना डेप्रिशिएट हुआ. अगर 50,000 का कोई मशीन है और आफ्टर 8 years इट इज कमिंग आउट टू 10,000, तो हमें 10,000 लमसम नहीं चाहिए, हमें कितना चाहिए? 40,000 लमसम चाहिए. So let's work out now. The point is, do you all know the formula for depreciation? अगर हमारे पास ये आपने लोअर स्टैंडर्ड्स में भी बहुत किया है कि depreciation कैसे निकालते हैं, right? So let's write the formula for depreciation one. So for the depreciation, if it is at compound interest, let's go with that first because depreciation is what? Your principal, that is your present value 50,000, 1 minus r upon 100 raised to n. ये होता है, correct? So now what is your present value 50,000. What is your interest? 10% and raised to 8. Right? So if we have to calculate this, right? So we get what? Now this you have to calculate. Right? So if I just write it 9 raised to 8, right? And 10 raised to 8. Now this is what we have to calculate. Okay? So this is what we have. Now if I just calculate with a calculator for this, 4 zeros will cut out. So 10 to the power 4. So what do you get? 5 into 9 raised to 8 upon 10 raised to 4, right? So you can cut one more 5 with this and then get your answer. So if I just calculate it, let me do it on the calculator. So we get here how much? 21523.3604. Okay, this is what it is giving. So now this much is the value after 8 years. Now depreciation हमारा कितना हुआ? So depreciation, this is depreciated value. So depreciation is 50,000 minus this. Now let's do the step. Now we have subtracted and we are getting this. Now this has to be your S. That is the amount that you need after 8 years. Right? So S is R 1 plus I raised to n minus 1 upon I. So what is your S? 28,476.63. Correct? Now what is your R that we have to calculate? 1 plus I raised to n, that is again it's going to be 1 plus, now what's your I? Your I will be same as, now it's going to be 5% compounded annually, right? It is going to be 5% compounded annually. So 10% nahi lena hai abhi. Now we have to go for sinking fund. Now that is at 5%. So now 1 plus 0.05 raised to. Now it is again compounded annually. So what will you have for the 8 years? Minus 1 upon, we have here 5 upon 100. Right? So 28476.63 into 5 upon 100. And this value of 1.05 raised to 8 is already given to you. So if we subtract 1 from it, we get 4774. right? So that is what we have to calculate for R. Okay, now let's do it. Let's move it. Let's move it. So we get 100 here. This 100 will cancel out, right? Now let's do the calculation. Okay, today let me take it on the calculator. 5 3s are 15 or 1 6 1 3 9 6. Sorry, 36 and all. Right. So if I divide it, let me take it 14238 315, right? So that will be the value of R. So if I do it on the calculator, what will I get? 2982.46, right? So this much rupees you need to set aside every year to get the depreciated amount, correct? So that you will not face the problem in buying the machine. You don't have to use any money from your savings account. That is why it is important. Now let's take the next. A sinking fund is created from the redemption of debentures of rupees 1 lakh at the end of 20 years. How much money should be provided out of profits each year for the sinking fund if the investment can earn interest 8% per annum compounded annually? Now here we have debentures. So we are not going into the detail for the debenture, but the point is we have to say create a sinking fund for the redemption of debentures. तो हमें 1 लाख रुपीज चाहिए जिससे कि हम उसको रिडीम कर सकें. So right, so 1 lakh will be what? 1 lakh will be your S here. इसके लिए we have to keep the money, right, at the end of 20 years. So 20 years we are going to have here. Now here the point is interest. So your I is 8 upon 100, so that is 0.08. So 1 plus I raised to n will become what? 1.08 raised to 20, which is 4.6609. Correct? Now these values are given to you. We have to find R. So S is R 1 plus I raised to n minus 1 upon I. So what is your S? 1 lakh. What is your I? 8 upon 100. And if you subtract 4.6609 minus 1. Correct? So what will you get? Two zeros cancel out. So 8,000 upon 3.6609. You remove this, you get 4 zeros here. And that will be the value of R. So you have to divide now 800,000,000 by 36,609, right? So that is what you have. So now what do you have? We do the long division. We have 8 crores, right? So 8 crore divided by 36,609. Let's do it. 3 to the 6. This is a 9 hota hai, so it will go out. So we get here subtract it. 1 0 down. So we get 1 now. Let's make it more clearer. So now 36609. One more zero down. Right? So now this comes out to be 8. So and 5. So 8. Now one more zero down. Right? Now again we divide it. Let's move it with 5. Now 5, 3, 3, 9. So now we put the 0 and here decimal, right?
So now what we will get? 2273218. Already we have done it up, and this is how it goes on. So R is 22,185.2 rupees. That is 2,185 rupees are to be set aside to get the redemption of the debentures of rupees 1 lakh. Right? So this was about again a few questions we'll be taking up. Right? So it's all about the formula. There is only one formula in the sinking funds. I hope you all have understood it. So please do watch it and score full marks. Right? And do like, share, and subscribe. Okay. Thank you, everyone.